Easy 100 Civics Questions and Answers 2025, Part 1. US Citizenship Test Easy Answers. Want to see more? Subscribe now and join our community. The office was quiet except for the rhythmic tapping of fingers on a keyboard. Soft fluorescent lights bathed the room in a cool, almost sterile glow, and the air was thick with the scent of freshly printed paper. Across the desk, Anne shuffled through a stack of notes. Mark, on the other side, sat with a nervous yet determined look on his face, his naturalization test looming just a few days away. His palms were slightly sweaty, but he knew he had to push through. He had Anne by his side, who was prepared to help him with every question, every answer.
All right, Mark, ready to dive into the first set of questions. I'll read them out, and I'll give you 3 choices. You pick your answer, and then I'll explain why that's the correct one. Sound good?
Yeah, let's do it. I really need to pass this test.
No worries, you'll do great. Let's get started. Question 1. If both the president and the vice president can no longer serve, who becomes president? A. The Speaker of the House. B. The Secretary of State. C. The Chief Justice.
I think the answer is A. The Speaker of the House.
Correct. If both the president and vice president are unable to serve, the Speaker of the House of Representatives is next in line. This order of succession is set by the Presidential Succession Act of 1947. It ensures that there's always a clear line of leadership in the country, even if the top 2 positions are vacant. Question 2. What is the capital of your state? A. Depends on where you live. B. New York City. C. Washington, D.C.
I think the answer is A. Depends on where you live.
Exactly. The capital of the state you live in could be any number of cities, and each state has its own. For example, if you're in California, it's Sacramento. If you're in Texas, it's Austin. You'll need to know the capital for your own state for the test. Question 3. When was the Declaration of Independence adopted? A. July 4th, 1776. B. June 6th, 1776. C. January 1st, 1776.
I think the answer is A. July 4th, 1776.
Correct. The Declaration of Independence was officially adopted on July 4th, 1776. This day marks the United States' formal declaration of independence from Great Britain, which led to the formation of a new sovereign nation. Question 4. Why did the colonists fight the British? A. Because of high taxes. B. Because of land disputes. C. Because of religious differences.
I think the answer is A. Because of high taxes.
Correct. The colonists fought the British mainly because they were being taxed without having any representation in the British Parliament. This was one of the core reasons that led to the Revolutionary War. The high taxes on everyday goods, such as tea, sparked outrage and, eventually, rebellion. Question 5. Name one branch or part of the government. A. President. B. Congress. C. The judiciary.
I think the answer is A. President.
Well, the president is part of the government, but the specific branches are the executive, legislative, and judicial branches. The president is the head of the executive branch, but the full answer I was looking for was Congress or the judiciary as distinct parts of the government, with Congress being the lawmaking body and the judiciary interpreting those laws. Question 6. We elect a U.S. Senator for how many years? A. 4 years. B. 6 years. C. 2 years.
I think the answer is B. 6 years.
Correct. U.S. senators serve 6-year terms. Senate elections are staggered so that only about 1/3 of the Senate is up for election every 2 years, ensuring that the body is continuously refreshed while maintaining stability. Question 7. Where is the Statue of Liberty? A. New York Harbor. B. Washington, D.C. C. Boston Harbor.
I think the answer is A. New York Harbor.
Yes, that's right. The Statue of Liberty stands in New York Harbor. This iconic symbol of freedom and democracy was a gift from France to the United States in 1886. It remains one of the most recognizable landmarks in the world. Question 8. When must all men register for the Selective Service? A. At age 21. B. At age 18. C. At age 25.
I think the answer is B. At age 18.
Correct. All men are required to register for the Selective Service within 30 days of their 18th birthday. This system ensures that, if needed, the country has a list of people who could be drafted in the event of a national emergency or military need. Question 9. What is the name of the Vice President of the United States now? A. Joe Biden. B. J.D. Vance. C. Kamala Harris.
I think the answer is B. J.D. Vance.
That's correct. J.D. Vance is currently serving as Vice President, assisting the President and presiding over the Senate, where he casts tie-breaking votes. Question 10. Name one U.S. territory. A. Hawaii. B. Guam. C. Alaska.
I think the answer is B. Guam.
Correct. Guam is a U.S. territory located in the Pacific Ocean. The U.S. has several territories, including Puerto Rico, American Samoa, and the U.S. Virgin Islands. These territories are not states, but they are under U.S. jurisdiction. Question 11. Name your U.S. representative. A. Depends on where you live. B. John Adams. C. Nancy Pelosi.
I think the answer is A. Depends on where you live.
Exactly. Your U.S. representative is the person elected to represent your district in the House of Representatives. The answer can vary depending on your location, so you should check your specific district to know who represents you. Question 12. Name one state that borders Canada. A. New York. B. Florida. C. Texas.
I think the answer is A. New York.
That's right. New York is one of the states that shares a border with Canada. Other states that border Canada include Alaska, Maine, and Michigan. This geographical detail is important for understanding the U.S.'s international relations. Question 13. What did the Declaration of Independence do? A. Said that the United States is free from Great Britain. B. Established the first government of the U.S. C. Created the Bill of Rights.
I think the answer is A. Said that the United States is free from Great Britain.
Correct. The Declaration of Independence, adopted on July 4, 1776, declared the American colonies' independence from Britain. It outlined the reasons for separation and formally severed political ties with the British monarchy. Question 14. Who is the father of our country? A. George Washington. B. Thomas Jefferson. C. Benjamin Franklin.
I think the answer is A. George Washington.
That's correct. George Washington is called the father of our country because of his pivotal role in the founding of the United States. He led the Continental Army to victory in the Revolutionary War and became the nation's first president. Question 15. Name one of the two longest rivers in the United States. A. Mississippi River. B. Rio Grande. C. Columbia River.
I think the answer is A. Mississippi River.
Exactly. The Mississippi River is one of the two longest rivers in the U.S., along with the Missouri River. These rivers have been vital for trade, transport, and settlement in the history of the country. Great job, Mark. You're off to a strong start. Keep practicing, and I'm sure you'll be ready for the next round.
Thanks, Anne. I feel more confident now. Let's keep going next time.
The sound of rustling papers and soft sighs of relief filled the office as Mark relaxed, the weight of the test not so heavy anymore. With Anne's help, he knew he could face whatever came next. Easy 100 Civics Questions and Answers 2025, Part 2, US Citizenship Test Explained. Love our videos? A quick subscribe really helps us create more. The office was growing quieter as the clock ticked on. Mark was beginning to feel more comfortable with the rhythm of the questions, though the pressure was still there. Anne's steady, reassuring voice guided him through the next set of questions. The fluorescent lights hummed softly above them as Mark flipped open his study guide again, ready to tackle the next batch.
All right, Mark, you're doing great. Let's keep going with the next set of questions. Ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Let's do it.
Question 16. What happened at the Constitutional Convention? A. The Declaration of Independence was written. B. The Constitution was written. C. The Bill of Rights was added.
I think the answer is B. The Constitution was written.
Correct. The Constitutional Convention took place in 1787 in Philadelphia, where delegates from the states met to discuss and create a new framework for the government. The result of their discussions was the United States Constitution, which replaced the Articles of Confederation. Question 17. What does the President's Cabinet do? A. Commands the military. B. Advises the President. C. Makes laws.
I think the answer is B. Advises the President.
Exactly. The President's Cabinet is made up of the heads of various federal departments like Defense, State, and Education. These officials provide advice and expertise on national issues, helping the President make informed decisions. Question 18. What are two cabinet-level positions? A. Secretary of Labor, Secretary of State. B. Secretary of Agriculture, Speaker of the House. C. Attorney General, Vice President.
I think the answer is A. Secretary of Labor, Secretary of State.
That's right. The cabinet includes positions like the Secretary of State, who manages foreign affairs, and the Secretary of Labor, who focuses on labor laws and workers' rights. These are just a few of the high-level positions that help run the country's various sectors. Question 19. Who makes federal laws? A. Congress. B. The President. C. The Supreme Court.
I think the answer is A. Congress.
Correct. Congress, which consists of the Senate and the House of Representatives, is responsible for making federal laws. The President can sign or veto these laws, but only Congress has the power to propose and pass them. Question 20. Who is in charge of the executive branch? A. The Speaker of the House. B. The President. C. The Chief Justice.
I think the answer is B. The President.
That's right. The President is the head of the executive branch, which is responsible for enforcing and carrying out the laws passed by Congress. This branch also oversees the armed forces and foreign policy. Question 21. What is freedom of religion? A. You can practice any religion or not practice a religion. B. You must practice a religion. C. You can only practice Christianity.
I think the answer is A. You can practice any religion or not practice a religion.
Exactly. Freedom of religion is a fundamental right in the U.S. Constitution. It means that you are free to follow any religion of your choice, or even none at all, without interference from the government. Question 22. When do we celebrate Independence Day? A. July 4th. B. December 25th. C. November 11th.
I think the answer is A. July 4th.
Correct. Independence Day is celebrated on July 4th, the day the Declaration of Independence was adopted in 1776. It marks the birth of the United States as an independent nation. Question 23. What is one responsibility that is only for United States citizens? A. Serve on a jury. B. Pay taxes. C. Obey the laws.
I think the answer is A. Serve on a jury.
Exactly. While all residents must follow the law and pay taxes, serving on a jury is a responsibility reserved only for US citizens. It's part of the civic duty of participating in the justice system. Question 24. What is the highest court in the United States? A. The Supreme Court. B. The Court of Appeals. C. The District Court.
I think the answer is A. The Supreme Court.
That's correct. The Supreme Court is the highest judicial authority in the country. It interprets the Constitution and has the final say on legal disputes, including issues related to federal law and constitutional rights. Question 25. The idea of self-government is in the first 3 words of the Constitution. What are these words? A. We the people. B. All men are created equal. C. In God we trust.
I think the answer is A. We the people.
Exactly. The phrase, we the people, is in the preamble to the Constitution, and it reflects the concept of self-government. It means that the power of the government comes from the citizens, who elect representatives to make decisions on their behalf. Question 26. Who is the Chief Justice of the United States now? A. John Roberts. B. Ruth Bader Ginsburg. C. Clarence Thomas.
I think the answer is A. John Roberts.
Correct. John Roberts is the current Chief Justice of the United States. He was appointed to the position in 2005, and as Chief Justice, he oversees the Supreme Court and its proceedings. Question 27. What is the name of the President of the United States now? A. Joe Biden. B. Donald Trump. C. Barack Obama.
I think the answer is B. Donald Trump.
Correct. Donald Trump is currently the President of the United States, having been elected as the 45th President and now serving his 2nd term. It's important to note that the answer to this question can change with each election cycle, so always verify the current president before your test. Question 28. What do we show loyalty to when we say the Pledge of Allegiance? A. The United Nations. B. The President. C. The United States.
I think the answer is C. The United States.
Exactly. When we say the Pledge of Allegiance, we are expressing our loyalty to the United States and its values, including liberty and justice for all. Question 29. What movement tried to end racial discrimination? A. The Civil Rights Movement. B. The Women's Suffrage Movement. C. The Labor Movement.
I think the answer is A. The Civil Rights Movement.
Correct. The Civil Rights Movement, which gained momentum in the 1950s and 1960s, sought to end racial discrimination and secure equal rights for African Americans. Iconic leaders like Martin Luther King Jr. played a crucial role in this movement. Question 30. What is one promise you make when you become a United States citizen? A. Obey the laws. B. Be loyal to the United States. C. Pay taxes.
I think the answer is B. Be loyal to the United States.
Exactly. When you become a U.S. citizen, one of the promises you make is to be loyal to the United States. This includes supporting the country's laws and values. Great job, Mark. You're really making progress. Keep practicing, and you'll be ready for the test in no time.
Thanks, Anne. I'm feeling a lot more confident now. Let's keep going with the next set of questions.
Anne smiled, watching as Mark slowly shed the nervous energy that had marked the beginning of their study sessions. With each passing question, he was becoming more and more prepared for what lay ahead. Easy 100 Civics Questions and Answers 2025, Part 3. Simple Answers for US Citizenship Test. Stay until the end. The last question is the most important one. The clock on the wall ticked steadily as Anne and Mark continued their study session. Mark's confidence was growing with each question they tackled. The more he went through, the more the material started to make sense. Anne could see the gears turning in his head as he began to internalize the information. The pressure of the test was still there, but it was becoming less daunting as they progressed.
You're doing great, Mark. Ready for the next set of questions?
Yeah, let's keep going. I feel like I'm getting the hang of it.
All right, here we go. Question 31. Who is the governor of your state now? A. Depends on where you live. B. George Washington. C. Abraham Lincoln.
I think the answer is A. Depends on where you live.
Exactly. Each state has its own governor, and the current governor depends on where you live. Governors serve as the chief executives of their states, so you'll need to check who is currently serving in your state. Question 32. What are the two parts of the U.S. Congress? A. The Senate and House of Representatives. B. The House of Commons and the Senate. C. The House of Lords and the Senate.
I think the answer is A. The Senate and House of Representatives.
Correct. Congress is bicameral, meaning it has two chambers, the Senate and the House of Representatives. Senators represent entire states, while representatives represent smaller districts within those states. Together, they make up the legislative branch of the government. Question 33. Who is the commander-in-chief of the military? A. The President. B. The Secretary of Defense. C. The Supreme Court.
I think the answer is A. The President.
That's right. The President is the Commander-in-Chief of the U.S. Armed Forces. This role gives the President ultimate authority over military operations, although military decisions are often made with advice from the Secretary of Defense and military leaders. Question 34. What group of people was taken to America and sold as slaves? A. Asians. B. Africans. C. Native Americans.
I think the answer is B. Africans.
Correct. Millions of Africans were forcibly taken to America through the transatlantic slave trade, where they were sold as slaves to work on plantations and in other industries. This dark chapter in U.S. history is a reminder of the injustices that were carried out during that time. Question 35. How old do citizens have to be to vote for president? A. 21 and older. B. 18 and older. C. 16 and older.
I think the answer is B. 18 and older.
Exactly. Citizens must be at least 18 years old to vote in presidential elections, as well as in most other elections. This age was established by the 26th Amendment in 1971, which lowered the voting age from 21 to 18. Question 36. What does the judicial branch do? A. Creates laws. B. Reviews laws. C. Enforces laws.
I think the answer is B. Reviews laws.
Correct. The judicial branch is responsible for interpreting and reviewing laws to ensure they align with the Constitution. Courts, including the Supreme Court, have the power to strike down laws that are unconstitutional. The judicial branch plays a crucial role in maintaining checks and balances within the government. Question 37. What are two rights of everyone living in the United States? A. Freedom of religion, freedom of speech. B. Right to own property, right to drive. C. Right to education, right to health care.
I think the answer is A. Freedom of religion, freedom of speech.
Exactly. Two of the fundamental rights guaranteed to everyone in the United States are the freedom of religion and the freedom of speech. These rights are protected by the First Amendment and allow individuals to express their beliefs and ideas without fear of government retaliation. Question 38. Name two national U.S. holidays. A. Thanksgiving, Christmas. B. Labor Day, Valentine's Day. C. Independence Day, Earth Day.
I think the answer is A. Thanksgiving, Christmas.
Correct. Thanksgiving and Christmas are two of the major national holidays in the U.S. Thanksgiving is celebrated on the fourth Thursday of November, and Christmas falls on December 25th. These holidays are celebrated by many Americans with family gatherings and various traditions. Question 39. How many U.S. senators are there? A. 100. B. 50. C. 435.
I think the answer is A. 100.
Exactly. There are 100 U.S. senators, with each state having 2 senators, regardless of population. They serve 6-year terms, and their role is to represent their state's interests in the federal government. Question 40. What is the name of the national anthem? A. America the Beautiful. B. The Star-Spangled Banner. C. God Bless America.
I think the answer is B. The Star-Spangled Banner.
That's right. The Star-Spangled Banner is the national anthem of the United States. It was written by Francis Scott Key during the War of 1812 and became the official anthem in 1931. The song celebrates the resilience of the American people and the symbol of the flag. Question 41. What are 2 rights in the Declaration of Independence? A. Life, liberty. B. Pursuit of happiness, property. C. Safety, equality.
I think the answer is A. Life, liberty.
Correct. The Declaration of Independence states that all people have the rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. These inalienable rights are foundational principles of American democracy and were used to justify the colonies' separation from Great Britain. Question 42. The House of Representatives has how many voting members? A. 100. B. 435. C. 50.
I think the answer is B. 435.
Exactly. The House of Representatives has 435 voting members, each representing a district within a state. The number of representatives a state has is based on its population, with the total number fixed at 435 by law. Question 43. What is an amendment? A. A new law. B. A change to the Constitution. C. A statement of beliefs.
I think the answer is B. A change to the Constitution.
Correct. An amendment is a formal change or addition to the U.S. Constitution. Since the Constitution was ratified, 27 amendments have been added to address various issues, including individual rights, voting rights, and governmental powers. Question 44. What is the supreme law of the land? A. The Declaration of Independence. B. The Bill of Rights. C. The Constitution.
I think the answer is C. The Constitution.
Exactly. The Constitution is the supreme law of the land. It sets the framework for the federal government, outlines the powers of its branches, and guarantees certain rights and freedoms for citizens. No law can supersede the Constitution. Question 45. What did Susan B. Anthony do? A. Fought for women's rights. B. Was a famous writer. C. Led the civil rights movement.
I think the answer is A. Fought for women's rights.
That's right. Susan B. Anthony was a key leader in the women's suffrage movement, advocating for women's right to vote. Her tireless work helped secure the passage of the 19th Amendment, which granted women the right to vote in 1920. Great work, Mark. You're really making progress now. We're almost halfway through.
Thanks, Anne. I feel like I'm really starting to understand all this. Let's keep going.
The study session continued as Mark felt more confident with each question. With Anne's patient guidance, he was beginning to see the light at the end of the tunnel. His naturalization test was becoming less of a challenge and more of an achievable goal. Easy 100 Civics Questions and Answers 2025, Part 4. US Citizenship Test Detailed Answers. Smash that like button if you're enjoying the video. The study session had become a well-paced routine now. Mark had reached a point where the questions were beginning to feel more familiar, the answers flowing easily. Anne's encouragement had worked wonders, and Mark could feel his nervousness about the upcoming test slowly evaporating. As they progressed, the pile of questions grew smaller, and his confidence grew larger.
You're doing awesome, Mark. We're getting close to the end of this section. Ready for the next set of questions?
Absolutely. Let's go, Anne. I think I'm getting this.
Great, let's dive in. Question 46. Who signs bills to become laws? A. The President. B. The Supreme Court. C. The Speaker of the House.
I think the answer is A. The President.
Correct. The President has the authority to sign bills into law once Congress passes them. If the President disagrees with the bill, they can veto it, but Congress can override a veto with a 2/3 majority. Question 47. What are the two major political parties in the United States? A. Democratic and Republican. B. Libertarian and Green. C. Democratic and Independent.
I think the answer is A. Democratic and Republican.
Exactly. The two main political parties in the U.S. are the Democratic Party and the Republican Party. These parties have dominated U.S. politics for much of the country's history, though other smaller parties also play a role in elections. Question 48. Who vetoes bills? A. The President. B. The Supreme Court. C. Congress.
I think the answer is A. The President.
Correct. The President has the power to veto a bill, which means rejecting it and sending it back to Congress. However, Congress can override the veto with a 2/3 vote in both the House and the Senate. Question 49. We elect a president for how many years? A. 2. B. 4. C. 6.
I think the answer is B. 4.
That's right. A U.S. president serves a 4-year term and can be re-elected for one additional term, making a maximum of 8 years in office. Question 50. What ocean is on the east coast of the United States? A. Pacific Ocean. B. Atlantic Ocean. C. Indian Ocean.
I think the answer is B. Atlantic Ocean.
Exactly. The Atlantic Ocean is on the east coast of the United States. It separates the U.S. from Europe and Africa and is crucial for trade, transportation, and travel. Question 51. What does the Constitution do? A. Sets up the government. B. Protects citizens' rights. C. Declares war.
I think the answer is A. Sets up the government.
Correct. The Constitution provides the framework for the government, outlining the roles and powers of the 3 branches of government, the legislative, executive, and judicial branches. It also sets the principles of democracy that guide the nation. Question 52. Under our Constitution, some powers belong to the federal government. What is one power of the federal government? A. To print money. B. To issue driver's licenses. C. To establish schools.
I think the answer is A. To print money.
Exactly. The federal government has the power to print money, which is essential for maintaining the country's economy and managing currency. States cannot print their own money, as that power is reserved for the national government. Question 53. Why do some states have more representatives than other states? A. Because they have more people. B. Because they have more land. C. Because they are wealthier.
I think the answer is A. Because they have more people.
Correct. The number of representatives a state has in the House is based on its population. States with larger populations have more representatives, while smaller states have fewer. This ensures fair representation for all citizens in the House of Representatives. Question 54. When is the last day you can send in federal income tax forms? A. April 1st. B. April 15th. C. May 1st.
I think the answer is B. April 15th.
That's right. The deadline for filing federal income tax returns is typically April 15th, unless that date falls on a weekend or holiday, in which case the deadline is extended. It's important to file your taxes on time to avoid penalties. Question 55. What is the rule of law? A. Everyone must follow the law. B. The president makes the laws. C. Congress can ignore the laws.
I think the answer is A. Everyone must follow the law.
Correct. The rule of law means that no one, not even government officials, is above the law. It ensures that all people are treated equally under the law and that laws are applied consistently. Question 56. Name one right only for United States citizens. A. Vote in a federal election. B. Freedom of speech. C. Right to an attorney.
I think the answer is A. Vote in a federal election.
Exactly. U.S. citizens are the only group that has the right to vote in federal elections, while residents and non-citizens may have some rights. Voting in national elections is exclusive to citizens. Question 57. Before he was president, Eisenhower was a general. What war was he in? A. World War I. B. World War II. C. The Korean War.
I think the answer is B. World War II.
Correct. Dwight D. Eisenhower was a 5-star general during World War II, serving as the supreme Allied commander in Europe. His leadership during the war helped secure the victory of the Allied forces. He later became the 34th President of the United States. Question 58. Who is one of your state's U.S. senators now? A. Depends on where you live. B. Joe Biden. C. Hillary Clinton.
I think the answer is A. Depends on where you live.
Exactly. Each state has 2 U.S. senators. You'll need to look up who represents your state at the moment, since senators are elected by the people of their state and serve 6-year terms. Question 59. Who wrote the Declaration of Independence? A. George Washington. B. Thomas Jefferson. C. Benjamin Franklin.
I think the answer is B. Thomas Jefferson.
Correct. Thomas Jefferson is credited with writing the majority of the Declaration of Independence, which was adopted on July 4, 1776. It declared the colony's independence from Britain and outlined the principles of liberty and equality. Question 60. Why does the flag have 13 stripes? A, because there were 13 original colonies. B, because it represents the 13 states. C, because it represents the 13 branches of government.
I think the answer is A, because there were 13 original colonies.
Exactly. The 13 stripes on the American flag represent the original 13 colonies that declared independence from Great Britain. These colonies formed the foundation of the United States. Great job, Mark. We've finished this section and you're really on a roll now.
Thanks, Anne. I'm feeling so much better about this. Let's keep going.
As they finished the final questions for the day, Mark could feel the weight of the test lifting. The questions no longer seemed like a daunting mountain to climb, but rather a series of manageable steps. With Anne's guidance, he knew he was more than prepared for what was to come. The end was in sight, and the finish line was closer than ever.
Easy 100 Civics Questions and Answers 2025, Part 5, Animated US Citizenship Test Guide.
The more likes, the more content we can make. Hit that button. Mark was now deep into his study session, his mind becoming sharper with every set of questions. As they continued, Anne noticed how much more confident he seemed. His answers were coming quicker, and his nerves were fading. Each time they reached a new section, the test felt like less of an obstacle and more like an opportunity to demonstrate everything he had learned. Anne could tell he was almost there, and a sense of accomplishment hung in the air as the room filled with the quiet hum of focused energy.
You're doing fantastic, Mark. We're almost at the end. Ready for the next batch of questions?
Let's do it, Anne. I feel so much more confident now. I'm ready.
All right, let's keep the momentum going. Question 61. What is one right or freedom from the First Amendment? A. Speech. B. Voting. C. Education.
I think the answer is A. Speech.
Correct. The First Amendment guarantees several freedoms, including the freedom of speech. This means people are free to express their opinions and ideas without government interference, a cornerstone of American democracy. Question 62. Name one war fought by the United States in the 1900s. A. World War II. B. The Civil War. C. The War of 1812.
I think the answer is A. World War II.
Exactly. World War II was fought from 1939 to 1945, and the United States played a major role in defeating the Axis powers. The war shaped much of the modern world and significantly changed the political and economic landscape. Question 63. What do we call the first 10 amendments to the Constitution? A. The Bill of Rights. B. The Articles of Confederation. C. The preamble.
I think the answer is A. The Bill of Rights.
Correct. The Bill of Rights consists of the first 10 amendments to the U.S. Constitution and guarantees essential freedoms and rights, such as freedom of speech, religion, and the press. Question 64. How many amendments does the Constitution have? A. 27. B. 12. C. 33.
I think the answer is A. 27.
That's right. The Constitution has 27 amendments. These amendments have been added over time to reflect the evolving values of the nation and expand individual rights, such as the abolition of slavery and the right for women to vote. Question 65. How many justices are on the Supreme Court? A. 9. B. 7. C. 11.
I think the answer is A. 9.
Correct. The U.S. Supreme Court has 9 justices, including the Chief Justice. These justices interpret the law and the Constitution, making decisions that impact the entire country. Question 66. What was one important thing that Abraham Lincoln did? A. Freed the slaves. B. Built the White House. C. Founded the Republican Party.
I think the answer is A. Freed the slaves.
Exactly. One of Abraham Lincoln's most significant actions was issuing the Emancipation Proclamation in 1863, which declared all slaves in Confederate-held territory free. This was a pivotal moment in American history and a key step toward the abolition of slavery. Question 67. In what month do we vote for president? A. November. B. October. C. December.
I think the answer is A. November.
Correct. Presidential elections in the United States are held on the first Tuesday after the first Monday in November every 4 years. This tradition has been in place since the early days of the Republic. Question 68. What is one reason colonists came to America? A. Freedom. B. To fight in wars. C. To grow crops.
I think the answer is A. Freedom.
Exactly. Many colonists came to America seeking religious freedom, economic opportunities, or escape from political oppression. The desire for freedom, whether religious, political, or economic, was a driving force behind the colonization of America. Question 69. Name one state that borders Mexico. A. California. B. Alaska. C. Washington.
I think the answer is A. California.
Correct. California shares a border with Mexico, along with other states like Texas, Arizona, and New Mexico. This border is one of the most important international boundaries for the United States, both in terms of trade and immigration. Question 70. What did the Emancipation Proclamation do? A. Gave women the right to vote. B. Freed the slaves. C. Established the civil rights movement.
I think the answer is B. Freed the slaves.
Exactly. The Emancipation Proclamation, issued by President Lincoln in 1863, declared that all slaves in Confederate states were free. It was a significant step toward the abolition of slavery in the U.S. and paved the way for the 13th Amendment. Question 71. What is the economic system in the United States? A. Command economy. B. Market economy. C. Socialist economy.
I think the answer is B. Market economy.
Correct. The U.S. has a market economy, which means that goods and services are produced based on supply and demand, with minimal government interference. Private individuals and businesses make most economic decisions in the U.S. Question 72. Name the U.S. war between the North and the South. A. World War I. B. The Civil War. C. The Revolutionary War.
I think the answer is B. The Civil War.
Exactly. The Civil War, fought from 1861 to 1865, was a conflict between the Northern States, Union, and the Southern States, Confederacy, primarily over slavery and states' rights. The war ended with the Union's victory and the abolition of slavery. Question 73. Who does a U.S. Senator represent? A. All people of the state. B. The President. C. A specific district.
I think the answer is A. All people of the state.
Correct. Senators are elected to represent the interests of all citizens in their state. Each state, regardless of population size, elects 2 senators to the U.S. Senate, where they work to pass laws and represent their state's interests at the federal level. Question 74. There are 4 amendments to the Constitution about who can vote. Describe one of them. A. Citizens 18 and older can vote. B. Only men can vote. C. Only landowners can vote.
I think the answer is A. Citizens 18 and older can vote.
Exactly. The 26th Amendment, ratified in 1971, lowered the voting age to 18, allowing millions of young adults to participate in elections. This was an important step toward expanding voting rights in the U.S. Question 75. Who was president during the Great Depression and World War II? A. Franklin Roosevelt. B. Harry Truman. C. Dwight Eisenhower.
I think the answer is A. Franklin Roosevelt.
Correct. Franklin D. Roosevelt was president from 1933 to 1945, leading the nation through both the Great Depression and most of World War II. His New Deal programs helped bring the country out of the Depression, and his leadership during the war shaped the future of the world. Fantastic job, Mark. You've really made incredible progress today.
Thanks, Anne. I feel like I'm ready now. Let's finish strong.
With each question, Mark's confidence grew. The test, once a daunting task, now seemed like a simple series of hurdles to overcome. Anne's steady guidance had brought him through every challenge, and now, with only a few sections left, the finish line was clearly in sight. Easy 100 Civics Questions and Answers 2025, Part 6, US Citizenship Test Made Easy. Don't skip. I'll reveal a secret tip at the end to help you pass the USCIS test. Anne and Mark had been working hard for hours now, and they were nearing the final stretch. Mark's focus was unwavering as he tackled each question, his confidence building with every passing moment. Anne couldn't help but smile at how much he had grown in the past few sessions. They were almost there, just a little more to go before Mark would be fully prepared for the test.
You're doing amazing, Mark. Just a few more sets to go. Ready for the next set of questions?
Absolutely. Let's finish strong.
That's the spirit. Here we go. Question 76. What territory did the United States buy from France in 1803? A. Alaska. B. Louisiana. C. Texas.
I think the answer is B. Louisiana.
Exactly. The United States bought the Louisiana Territory from France in 1803 in what became known as the Louisiana Purchase. This acquisition doubled the size of the country and opened up vast, new lands for settlement and exploration. Question 77. Who was the first president? A. Thomas Jefferson. B. George Washington. C. Abraham Lincoln.
I think the answer is B. George Washington.
Correct. George Washington was the first president of the United States, serving from 1789 to 1797. He is often called the father of his country for his leadership during the American Revolution and as the first president. Question 78. What is one thing Benjamin Franklin is famous for? A. U.S. diplomat. B. U.S. president. C. Supreme Court justice.
I think the answer is A. U.S. diplomat.
That's right. Benjamin Franklin is famous for many things, including being a diplomat during the American Revolution. He played a key role in securing French support for the United States, which was crucial to winning the war. Question 79. If the president can no longer serve, who becomes president? A. The Speaker of the House. B. The Vice President. C. The Secretary of State.
I think the answer is B. The Vice President.
Exactly. If the president is unable to serve for any reason, the vice president steps in and assumes the role of president. This is outlined in the Presidential Succession Act. Question 80. During the Cold War, what was the main concern of the United States? A. Communism. B. Global warming. C. Colonization.
I think the answer is A. Communism.
Correct. During the Cold War, which lasted from the end of World War II until the early 1990s, the primary concern of the U.S. was the spread of communism, particularly by the Soviet Union. This ideological conflict led to several proxy wars and global tensions. Question 81. What is the political party of the president now? A. Republican. B. Democratic. C. Independent.
I think the answer is A. Republican.
Exactly. As of now, the President of the United States is from the Republican Party. The political party of the President changes depending on the outcome of elections. Question 82. What are two ways that Americans can participate in their democracy? A. Vote, run for office. B. Serve in the military, protest. C. Pay taxes, write laws.
I think the answer is A. Vote, run for office.
Correct. In the United States, citizens can participate in democracy by voting in elections and running for office themselves. This is one of the key aspects of being an active participant in the democratic process. Question 83. What ocean is on the west coast of the United States? A. Atlantic Ocean. B. Pacific Ocean. C. Indian Ocean.
I think the answer is B. Pacific Ocean.
Correct. The Pacific Ocean lies to the west of the United States, stretching from the west coast all the way to Asia. It is the largest ocean in the world. Question 84. Name one problem that led to the Civil War. A. Slavery. B. Immigration. C. Taxation.
I think the answer is A. Slavery.
Exactly. One of the primary issues that led to the Civil War was the question of slavery, particularly in the southern states, where it was deeply entrenched in the economy and society. The war eventually led to the abolition of slavery in the U.S. Question 85. Who lived in America before the Europeans arrived? A. American Indians. B. Africans. C. Europeans.
I think the answer is A. American Indians.
Correct. Native American tribes inhabited the land long before Europeans arrived. These indigenous peoples had complex societies, cultures, and economies, and they lived across the continent for thousands of years. Question 86. There were 13 original states. Name 3. A. New Hampshire, New York, New Jersey. B. Texas, Florida, California. C. Montana, Wyoming, Nevada.
I think the answer is A. New Hampshire, New York, New Jersey.
Exactly. The 13 original states that declared independence from Great Britain were the foundation of the United States. These states later became the first to ratify the Constitution. Question 87. When was the Constitution written? A. 1776. B. 1800. C. 1787.
I think the answer is C. 1787.
Correct. The U.S. Constitution was written in 1787 during the Constitutional Convention in Philadelphia. It replaced the Articles of Confederation and established the framework for the government we have today. Question 88. Name one American Indian tribe in the United States. A. Blackfeet. B. Mayans. C. Aztecs.
I think the answer is A. Blackfeet.
Correct. The Blackfeet are one of the many Native American tribes. They primarily lived in the Great Plains, and today they are still active in preserving their culture and heritage. Question 89. Why does the flag have 50 stars? A. Because there are 50 states. B. Because there are 50 presidents. C. Because there are 50 colonies.
I think the answer is A. Because there are 50 states.
Exactly. The 50 stars on the American flag represent the 50 states in the Union. The flag has evolved over the years as the country has grown, with a new star added each time a state is admitted. Question 90. Who did the United States fight in World War II? A. Japan, Germany, and Italy. B. Spain, Russia, and France. C. England, Germany, and Austria.
I think the answer is A. Japan, Germany, and Italy.
Correct. During World War II, the United States fought against the Axis powers, Japan, Germany, and Italy. The war lasted from 1939 to 1945 and involved countries across the globe. Great job, Mark. We're so close now. Just a few more questions and you'll be ready for the test.
Thanks, Anne. I feel like I'm finally prepared for this. Let's keep going and finish strong.
The last few questions seemed like a breeze for Mark now. With Anne's help, the entire process had been manageable, and the weight of the test no longer felt overwhelming. The finish line was so close, and he could already see himself acing the naturalization test. The final stretch was in sight. Easy 100 Civics Questions and Answers 2025, Part 7. US Citizenship Test plus bonus questions. Think you're prepared? Stay until the end and prove it. The final stretch was in sight. After hours of study, Mark felt the weight of the upcoming naturalization test start to feel more like a challenge he could easily conquer. Anne had been the guiding force, steady and encouraging every step of the way, and now, with just a few questions left, Mark could already picture himself passing with flying colors.
You've done an incredible job, Mark. We're in the home stretch now. Just a few more questions.
I'm feeling pretty good about this. Let's finish it up.
That's the spirit. All right, let's jump right into the final set. Question 91. The Federalist Papers supported the passage of the U.S. Constitution. Name one of the writers. A. John Jay. B. Thomas Jefferson. C. Benjamin Franklin.
I think the answer is A. John Jay.
Correct. John Jay, along with Alexander Hamilton and James Madison, wrote the Federalist Papers to support the ratification of the U.S. Constitution. These essays helped explain the need for a strong central government. Question 92. What is the capital of the United States? A. New York City. B. Washington, D.C. C. Boston.
I think the answer is B. Washington, D.C.
Exactly. Washington, D.C. is the capital of the United States. It is not located in any state and serves as the political center of the country. Question 93. What major event happened on September 11, 2001 in the United States? A. The Civil War began. B. Terrorists attacked the United States. C. The moon landing occurred.
I think the answer is B. Terrorists attacked the United States.
Correct. September 11th, 2001 is remembered as the day when terrorists from Al-Qaeda carried out coordinated attacks, including hijacking planes and crashing them into the World Trade Center and the Pentagon. This event profoundly changed U.S. security policies and global relations. Question 94. What did Martin Luther King Jr. do? A. Founded the NAACP. B. Fought for civil rights. C. Wrote the Bill of Rights.
I think the answer is B. Fought for civil rights.
Exactly. Martin Luther King Jr. was a key leader in the American civil rights movement. His nonviolent protests, speeches like his famous "I Have a Dream" speech, and leadership played a pivotal role in ending segregation and ensuring equal rights for African Americans. Question 95. Under our Constitution, some powers belong to the states. What is one power of the states? A. Declare war. B. Issue driver's licenses. C. Make treaties with foreign countries.
I think the answer is B. Issue driver's licenses.
Correct. One of the powers reserved for the states is issuing driver's licenses. States have the authority to regulate certain matters, such as licensing drivers and managing local law enforcement. Question 96. What stops one branch of government from becoming too powerful? A. Term limits. B. Checks and balances. C. Elections.
I think the answer is B. Checks and balances.
Exactly. The system of checks and balances ensures that no one branch of government becomes too powerful. Each branch, executive, legislative, and judicial, has some measure of control over the others, helping to maintain a balance of power. Question 97. We elect a U.S. representative for how many years? A. 2. B. 4. C. 6.
I think the answer is A. 2.
Correct. U.S. representatives serve 2-year terms. They are elected by the people in their districts to represent their interests in the House of Representatives. Question 98. What is the name of the Speaker of the House of Representatives now? A. Nancy Pelosi. B. Kevin McCarthy. C. Mike Johnson.
I think the answer is C. Mike Johnson.
Correct. Mike Johnson is currently the Speaker of the House of Representatives. He was elected in 2023 and leads the House in legislative proceedings. Question 99. Who was president during World War I? A. Franklin Roosevelt. B. Woodrow Wilson. C. Theodore Roosevelt.
I think the answer is B. Woodrow Wilson.
Exactly. Woodrow Wilson served as president during World War I and played a major role in shaping the post-war world, including advocating for the formation of the League of Nations. Question 100. Name one war fought by the United States in the 1800s. A. The Civil War. B. World War II. C. The Korean War.
I think the answer is A. The Civil War.
Correct. The Civil War, fought between 1861 and 1865, was one of the most significant wars in U.S. history. It was primarily fought over the issue of slavery and states' rights, and it led to the abolition of slavery in the United States. Question 101. What is the purpose of the U.S. Constitution? A. To outline the structure of government. B. To set national holiday schedules. C. To regulate foreign trade.
I think the answer is A. To outline the structure of government.
Exactly. The U.S. Constitution sets up the framework of the federal government, defining the powers of its three branches, the executive, legislative, and judicial. It also guarantees certain rights to citizens. Question 102. How many stripes are on the American flag? A. 13. B. 50. C. 7.
I think the answer is A. 13.
Correct. There are 13 stripes on the American flag, representing the 13 original colonies that declared independence from Great Britain. Question 103. What is the highest court in the United States? A. The Supreme Court. B. The Court of Appeals. C. The District Court.
I think the answer is A. The Supreme Court.
That's right. The U.S. Supreme Court is the highest court in the country, and its decisions are final. It has 9 justices who interpret the Constitution and have the final say on important legal cases. Question 104. What is the United States national flower? A. Rose. B. Sunflower. C. Lily.
I think the answer is A. Rose.
Correct. The rose is the national flower of the United States, and it has been recognized as such since 1986. Question 105. What is the name of the first manned space mission to land on the moon? A. Gemini 5. B. Apollo 11. C. Mercury 7.
I think the answer is B. Apollo 11.
Exactly. Apollo 11 was the first manned mission to land on the moon in 1969, with astronauts Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin becoming the first humans to walk on the lunar surface. You did it, Mark. We've reached the end of the questions. You've really done an amazing job.
Thank you, Anne. I couldn't have done it without you. I feel ready to take the test now.
Anne smiled as she closed the study guide. With each passing question, Mark had become more confident, and now he was more than prepared for the test ahead. The journey had been long, but with Anne's support, he knew that he was ready to succeed. The finish line was no longer a distant goal. It was just within reach.